Hello everyone and welcome back to DCS World and welcome back to the Viggen. It's been a while since I've done a video with the Viggen. I still feel like I'm kind of learning it. Mostly been doing ground attack while I've been playing it, but decided to take it off and just give it a go at full out cap and see how I could do. I was just flying out on my own, so I will be doing a docs debrief for this one, while I do the voiceover, having a look at what I did, what I could improve on. But it is worth noting that there was a blue GCI on, Marine42, who's doing an excellent job throughout this and did save me a fair few times. So anyway, let's jump into the first engagement. So first of all here, I've been vectored into this hind, and so first I'm trying to go, I initially try and get a Fox 2 lock on him, not getting any signal there. I do get confused with my controls and accidentally then hit the master arm instead of switching to cannons, just getting confused with what my bindings are. Go back in on him with cannons armed this time and see him flaring there. Now, I don't know why, but as I'm trying to go in on guns, I do get hits there. Both the guns jam for some reason and continuously fire after I release, and two missiles fire. I'm very confused about the two missiles firing there because I do not have them selected. It's on a rotary, so if you've selected cannons, the missiles should be completely deactivated. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know if my HOTAS might be giving some weird control inputs, or if it's something else. So if you know why those two missiles came off, please do let me know. Get another decent hit on him there. He almost goes in, he bounces off the ground there, but he does manage to stay up. So I've damaged him at this point. But all of a sudden I do realise that there are two MiG-20, well, there's a MiG-21 inbound. There is a friendly F5 in the area, but I decide that the 21 is probably the bigger threat right now. So trying to get eyes on them. There's various aircraft in the area. I go towards this guy, decide to disengage at first, trying to get eyes on these aircraft as Magic's calling in and giving me warnings here that I need to be careful. So there we go, over my head, various planes are turning. Two MiG-21s now in the area. I'm struggling. You can see the plane shaking. I'm really turning it too fast here. I'm not in a good energy state. Does actually work in my favour because that does lead to the overshoot there, but I'm very lucky that that MiG-21 didn't manage to get missiles off. Now he isn't in particularly good energy state after that either, so I do whip off a Fox 2, and even with a high aspect he's not moving fast enough and I get the first splash of the day, so that's pretty good. And while I was doing that, the other F5 did come in and finish off that hind, which I was really having trouble with, especially because I've run out of cannon ammo at this point. That last pass I tried to fire cannons, nothing came out. So quite happy the F5 came in there and saved the day. Now I try to come in and return the favour. This other MiG-21 is on him. And so I do get tone here, firing at quite a range, but again he's really quite slow, and so do manage to get the splash there. Now there I'm feeling quite happy. Two missiles that I realise I've fired, two splashes, and saved a F5 who thanks me in chat. The real problem that I had with all of that is I didn't actually realise I launched those two missiles earlier, and so I continue the fight trying to work out why my missiles aren't firing, why they're not getting tone. I'll skip through most of that because it's just a lot of frustrating gameplay with me getting on a 6 and just not being able to launch. This is just towards the end of that fight. You can see there are multiple targets engaging here. I've been in this dogfight for a while, unknowingly completely Winchester. Decide, okay, I've probably got a missile opportunity on this 21. If anything's going to get a tone, it is a MiG-21 and Afterburner. So try to line up on him. Again, should get the shot if I had any missiles here. If anyone knows an in-cockpit display for where the remaining missiles are, please do let me know. But I do get splashed there, and do get nicely reminded, as I'm getting splashed, that I still have the central fuel tank. So I made that fight a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Made a lot of mistakes, but as I said, I'm still kind of learning how to do air-to-air in the Viggen, so mistakes are going to happen. So this is a short while later, respawned, take off, try and re-engage the fight here. See a Viggen off my nose, multiple other targets in the area. So I'm looking at this guy, do identify him as a Mirage. Briefly, he was just had the correct aspect there to see his wing form. And so decide to try and head this guy on. He is going very, very fast, as Mirages will tend to do. I do get tone on him, do uncage, and decide to take the shot really far. And the problem is he is really fast. And so the Fox 2 just doesn't have the energy to catch him here. Now thankfully what it does lead to is him turning back in, which is actually quite useful. He could have disengaged there, come back in, but now he is staying in the fight. I go a little bit high there just because he was turning too hard for me. Now I'm lined up nicely on his 6. Second uncaged Fox 2. Now he's got nowhere near the speed he had before, and so get a decent hit. He is not dead though. That hit didn't seem to do too much. It seems to have clipped off a bit of his wing, but he is still flying. So I just decide, right, be on the safe side. I've got a friendly engage towards the right, so I'm firing off a Fox 2 here. And then immediately turn away. Quite happy that Fox 2 is definitely going to hit. And in the kill feed there, we see that it did finally go in. Now, here, magic calls out to me that I am very much engaged. I do not have countermeasures on this run. I'm running with 2 gun pods instead. But I do manage to outmaneuver that Fox 2 on my tail. Nice thing about the Viggen, even when you don't have the countermeasure pods, because you've got that really high snap yaw rate, you can outmaneuver them. And what happened there was the server crashed, which is actually really in my favour. The friendly went down, I was in a 3-on-1 at that point, and so that server crash really saved me. This is immediately after the server restarts, and we end up with a massive engagement going on, really, as both sides all take off, all head towards each other. As I fire there on the 21, he does turn into me and flare, so the missile misses. I really waste my shots there and really turn too hard. Something I'm still getting used to, the Viggen, it can snap turn more than most other aircraft that I've flown, but it really doesn't like snap turning. As soon as you bleed off that speed and continue to turn, you get into compressor stall issues. Luckily, the 21 here also bled off a lot of speed, and so as I manage to recover, I end up right in the correct position and finish him off there. However, right behind me, I've got this farmer. The farmer is, however, trying to get guns on. He does start to overshoot. He then pulls a very sharp maneuver there, and unfortunately the farmer can't really get away with those anymore, and so he goes in. I am definitely claiming that maneuver kill there. The Farmer definitely used to be able to get away with that before the flight model update, but now if you pull too hard, it does absolutely go wonky and bleeds off energy, and it does not like being overly slow. You can see here I'm engaged by multiple enemies. Can't really do too much. I should have stayed evasive, but there's another one behind me, and so, well, going down to a 3-on-1 isn't too bad. Now, we really don't get much of a break on this one. Blue currently is taking off from Hamar, red is taking off from Abu just to the north, and so we are having constant engagements in that one hex between the two. It's ending up really quite hectic, really quite fun. There's basically this constant furball just north of the mountains near Hamar. So we see a Viggen here that is being engaged by a farmer. So decide to try and clear his tail. Again, I keep clicking the wrong button there. But it's not the worst button to hit. It's very obvious with the HUD that I've clicked the wrong button, and so I can quickly just remaster arm and then select cannons. Now, here I am making a bit of a mistake. I really shouldn't be trying to turn with a farmer. It's absolutely not the right thing to do. That was a bit of a risky shot with the Viggen coming in, but it does pay off in the end. Do clear that MiG-19. Short while later then, after some hunting where I've just been a bit blind in this engagement that's just been ongoing, do finally start to see planes. See their MiG-21s going hive off behind me. Unfortunately, because I've been turning, I'm not in a great energy state here, and someone else comes in and hits me. You'll see there's a second MiG-21 there. And unfortunately, he gets a couple of hits in, and those hits go into my engine. Now, the engine's not responding at this point. I do try to restart it just in case it was a compressor stall. Try again. I forgot to throttle down at first. Try and go on. The engine does start to come back alive now, but really isn't putting out the power that I need it to. You can see there the RPM is starting to come back on, but at this point it is too little too late. I can't get the energy I need. I know I'm going in, and so I bail. Hopefully a helicopter can pick me up. At least it's a nice quick journey for the helicopter to get back. So yeah, as I said, not much of a break. Respawn and just get greeted with this mess off my nose. Just constant planes. This was a really fun, chaotic engagement. Very similar to what you get on the narrow Caucasus map going on in Syria, which is a interesting change. Different plane set, but still just as much chaos. And here I see a farmer do a high yaw here so I can keep some of my energy in the turn. He reverses the turn there, and unfortunately I just can't get the guns on him here. Not pulling high enough, bleeding off a lot of energy. Really not doing a good point leading these guns. Actually doing a terrible job here leading these guns. It may have looked there like I got the kill. I absolutely didn't. That was someone else launching a Fox 2 that killed him. It just so happened that my bullet hit his wing at the same time. Do, however, get a Fox 2 off on this Mirage here. Again, I know that was a bit dangerous, but I saw him just about to take out that enemy, so decided, that friendly, so decided it was worth a shot. But take a long-range shot. Worst thing that's going to happen is it hits in friendly that's already going down. Does kill the Mirage there, but too little too late. The friendly did go down. Try and roll over, position myself on this guy. See there, got pretty good missile solution, fire off another Fox 2. Again, range isn't great, it's not an ideal shot, but it does hit home. And again, the only reason I took that shot is he was on a friendly, and I tend to be a lot more happy to take risky shots if there is a friendly in imminent danger. I just feel that it's worth it. In that case, easily worth a missile to try and save a friend. Now, I turn behind me, see a Mirage here right up me. So I do seem to have a fair bit of energy here, so I am able to climb up with him. There is a friendly Viggen in the area. I really can't shake this guy. I was hoping the Viggen could get in time, but just not quite. And here I have an unfortunate thing. I didn't arm my ejection seat. I have a really bad habit in the Viggen of forgetting to do that. And if you don't arm the ejection seat and you're in a flat spin like that, you can black out and not be able to eject, which is rather a terrifying experience. Again, something I just need to work on. So, same story here, started up, headed out. The massive unending furball is still absolutely continuing. In this case, see a MiG-21 getting splashed by a F5 there. See multiple friendlies in the immediate area, so do relax a little bit. But this fight never really has a break for very long. I'm going to see missiles going out already, and a farmer enters the engagement. So try and take this a little more gently than I have been before, wanting to slot in on this farmer. See him right behind an F5, and unfortunately there you may have seen I uncaged. It was on the farmer, but then immediately as I'm pulling the trigger, it flips over onto the F5. Again, I am kind of lucky here. The F5 was killed before my missile hit home, so I don't get the friendly fire kill there. Again, that was just me taking a risk because it was moments away from the friendly going down. And again, didn't really hurt the fight afterwards because, well, the friendly would have gone down whether I'd fired or not. Now, thankfully then, another plane comes in. F5 does catch that guy because I am in an awful energy state once again here. See more missile trails, which I know means more planes incoming. See there, Mirage, low level, crossing around. Nice thing about engaging Mirages in a Viggen is they're quite similar to you in that they don't do too well at turning either. So I'm actually a bit more comfortable engaging Mirages than anything else in the Viggen. Fortunately they see that the other Viggen goes down. I did try over SRS to give him a warning, but it's very likely that the Viggen wouldn't have had any countermeasures. Very often Viggens do not run with countermeasures. It is a separate pod they have to take, and so I absolutely understand people who don't. I normally don't run with countermeasures either. I'll try and get guns on here, and then I explode. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. In the last frames that I went back over it, there is an F5 that appears, but I definitely don't hit the F5. The F5 is not dead. I am the only one who died. The only thing I can guess is that I pulled too much AOA there and ripped my wings. So yeah, a bit of a odd ending. Really chaotic session, but I found that a really fun session. And definitely do enjoy the Viggen in air-to-air combat. If you enjoyed that, do let me know with a comment down below or a like, and otherwise I hope to catch you in a future video. Till then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.